What's going on, YouTube? Zach is back, bringing you another Pokemon Unite replay commentary. No webcam this time, just a little under the weather. But yeah, this was a really great game, really good Latias gameplay. Our team worked really well together, so I wanted to try out some things. They also nerfed Vaporeon finally, so I'm celebrating and making a video right away because I freaking won against it, and every time I KO'd it, felt so good. So if you have had a hard time against Vaporeon, drop a freaking like and watch this. Let's get it. So you'll notice that I'm using Potion instead of XP as my battle item right now. I've been experimenting with a few things on Latias recently, changing around different items and different stuff as the meta changes, and as Latias' role being very flexible allows you to experiment some. What I found is that I think Big Root, as useful as it is, it kind of, the problem with the item is if you run it and XP share, then you only get one item for special attacks. You can't really run like Resonant Guard or something like that as well, because then you'll be really weak in the mid and late game. Because remember, your Eon stacks, the main reason to run cooldown reduction in the first place is your damage in the late game. So you want to make sure that you actually do have some special attack to be able to continue in fights. So here I notice we've got a guy on our side, so I'm coming back to defend right away. This is generally the best way to punish players that are stacking. As soon as you see them stacking, just come back and fight them. Don't hit the farm at all if you can help it. And just keep pressuring them. Of course, here I take a chance to score just for the XP. That way I can get closer to 4. As I always say with Latias, your weakest part of the game is until you're level 4. So as soon as you get 4, you're in good shape. So the less time you spend 3, the better. And luckily my opponents are pretty weak early on as well, so I've been able to exploit their weaknesses without exposing mine too heavily. I sort of see here that it's a bad position for me, so I try to beeline away from my Suicune, so they have to pick one of us to go on. And in doing that, it allows him the space to be able to zone them away from me, so I get to live after all. Very good team play there. And actually, I was going to say, Suicune is a great partner with Latias in general, just by virtue of how well the two play together. Well, the Pawmot's going to get away here, but Leafeon by himself can't really do much against us two. Here I managed to get his last hit again. This is one of those games where you can imagine the opponent's not really having very much fun yet. Because I want to be getting Eon stacks, I'm going to be playing their side more than mine. But obviously the farm takes priority. I want to get that and hit them with my Dragon Pulse if I can. Here I decided to come mid so that my teammates can converge and we can get Regidrago. But I noticed no one else is really coming, so I decided that I'm just going to finish off the ball play I started and then make my bottom where I see a lot of people so I can get Eon stacks this way. What you don't want to do on Latias is let yourself get stuck somewhere where you're not really gaining any damage. Because even if you're just fighting, remember that every time you Dragon Pulse, you're getting an advantage. So fighting is good, so if you can go into a fight, go there, don't waste your time in an objective by yourself. Sometimes you can rip by yourself, but I think it's generally better to just have your team with you and have them help you rip. It's a little easier. Oh, if that had hit that Vaporeon, he would have been toast, but it was not to be. Instead, the Scissor is working on Regidrago now. It's to get it pretty much for free since my team never contested at all, which is pretty unfortunate. Arguably, I should have went on it by myself just to make sure that this didn't happen, and also make team eventually. But with the way the fight was going bottom, it felt like if I wasn't there, it was going to be really bad. So, in the end, I'm glad I made the play I did. Just kind of unfortunate the way it worked out in the grand scheme of things. Getting all those last hits is always really, really nice. And if you're playing with Latias on your team, do like that Crustle did and let him get the last hit. Very, very nice thing to do. You can still get XP, but Latias can get last hits to continue to build Eon stacks to scale to the late game. Now here I tried to use the pressure generated in my ult to get the objective, because I had like the buff from it, so I had lower cooldown reduction, I had better cooldown reduction and damage. But my teammates didn't really follow up. It feels like this game they're really objective averse, which is kind of frustrating. But fortunately, we still have strong Pokemon that work well together. We have lots of area effect tools to control damage very effectively. And here we see a very, I think a very nice Bucky. Yep. Last but not least, you Pikachu. And the Palmot did get KO'd there as well, but I was not the one that picked up that KO. But we still got him, so all is well. I picked up the 10 there just so that way I can knock out the goal zone if it feels like it's a efficient fight, and it is, so I'm just going to do it. Generally, obviously, you want to get a bigger overcap if possible, so scoring like 30 in that case would have been better for points, but obviously, if they're fighting us on their goal pad, we can't really score those points. So it's better to just score 10 and make it so we're not fighting them on their goal pad. That way we can like, actually take a good team fight and KO them and win in the game that way instead. Unfortunately, the momentum we generated petered out pretty quickly as we started to get to their side. And they started to wreck us here really, really bad. This Palma was a big thorn on my team's side. He's very, very strong against Latias, as I mentioned before. And as I'm sure we'll see in this game. But for now, it is time for Latias to return to the fray and pick up a nice little Leafeon. Yeah, and here we can see Vaporeon much, much easier to take down than it was before. Very, very glad they nerfed it. I've talked some in my stream, I guess ranted more like, about how the changes in the game recently have been, in my opinion. And I think the one thing I really don't like is that they're releasing a lot of new Pokemon, right? But these Pokemon are routinely broken beyond belief. It's ridiculous. It's like the meta becomes completely based around these Pokemon as soon as they're released, and Vaporeon was a great example. And before that, we had Empoleon as well. In both the Megas to lesser extents, but Empoleon they also had to emergency nerf, and Vaporeon to another emergency nerf. Now, I haven't been playing this game as long as some people, but I've been playing it a couple of years, and they never did emergency nerfs until Empoleon, so this is kind of crazy. So, in my opinion, it's pretty obvious why they do it. It's so they can get more sales, they can get people buying Pokemon while they're OP, and then they nerf them after everyone spent all their money buying it. But really, truly, I think what would be good for the health of the game overall is just to have a balanced experience. Here we see how Latias' tankiness really helps in fighting Pokemon like Leafeon. Because I have both the healing of Dragon Pulse and the damage reduction of Mist Ball, I'm able to actually tank his blows effectively enough to KO him on the backswing. Here, though, I do make a bit of a regrettable play in retrospect, so I decided to focus my efforts on the Vaporeon because I have my Curse items, so I have Curse Incense, so as long as I'm hitting him and anyone near him, they're not going to be healing at all. And I think, oh, okay, well, I've got a Suicune and a Crustle, surely the thing will get in, but it did get in, which is kind of unfortunate. It probably would have been better if I was there too, but the Palmot was there, and I don't want to get stuck with him on top of me and the Suicune together. I'd rather really be split up, because if he's hitting us both at the same time, the other can't really, like, one person can't help the other's in trouble, whereas if one of us is off, then the other can help, you know? Like, this is a good example, where he's going on, like, someone besides me, and then I can help. Suicune obviously wasn't the one getting gone on after he got out, but point being, as long as you're not the one getting gone on, you can contribute, even if they counter you. Nonetheless, here I am looking for Eon stacks experience, harassing my opponents, generally whatever I can do to best contribute to the team right before Groudon. Harass I do like a lot on Latias and before Groudon, simply for the purpose of what I could say skunking the enemy team out, which is to say they sort of reveal themselves from their defensive positions because they want to come and contest you, so they're all like starting to move in the direction. You could see on the mini-map at around that time they were starting to move this way, but they backed off as it became clear that we weren't actually engaging and I was just sort of poking. I think better teams generally will play that way and not really overcommit to anything that's not a good engagement, but sometimes you'll catch players making mistakes, and that's generally what you want to be doing if you're trying to win against your opponents, right? Obviously, if you're playing on a team, it's different. Nonetheless, this Groudon fight is going incredibly well. I'm all over the place today, guys. Oh, so glad it is Thanksgiving week. I just want to say real quick, I'm very, very thankful to Vaporeon. Thankful for the game going really good today. All the lovely KOs I got this game. This has been a truly incredible experience for Latias. And also thankful for you, the viewers, being here. I don't want to, be too cheesy or anything, but really, truly, I do appreciate all the support. I like making content, and I like that people enjoy it, and it feels good to contribute to the community in that way. So I appreciate Anyway, let me talk about this game for the last minute of it. So obviously, me scoring there was to get us up 0 behind, so now we're up. So my goal is just busy them. Make them not able to score, or if they're able to score, they have to lose something else. So look, Leafeon's gonna run away and score. I already have that in mind. So my thought is, okay, just stay here and KO anybody I can. Okay, there's a fight over here. I'm gonna just start fighting them. And look, very quickly, thanks to all the Eon stacks I developed over this game, I'm able to take them out. And like I was talking about before, while I'm getting gone on, Suicune's there helping me because he's got space to be able to use his moves. And the same would be true if he was getting gone on instead. It's really, really good that these Pokemon can both play the way they can, and they're both tanky enough to fight like this because then they can really cover each other really well. It's a really strong duo, and I'd recommend it to anyone looking to climb with either of these Pokemon. And yeah, because they spent all their time, doing all that stuff, the Darkrai was able to score 50 more in their face, so we evenly wrapped up on this one with a nice KO and assist spread on the Latias. This was a really fun game, and I'm really glad they nerfed Vaporeon. And yeah, just having a good time playing, and I hope y'all are having a good time watching. Thank you so much. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things if you like to do those things. If you don't, you don't have to. I'm not your mom or your dad or whoever else would tell you to do things. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, also follow on Twitch if you want. I play live sometimes. I get mad at the game sometimes, but I also have a good time, and I answer questions in chat and try to make it an educational resource. So if you like watching live gameplay, check that out. Anyway, thank you all so much. Have a great week and a great holiday. Take care. Peace out, y'all.